Hi class, first let me apologize about all the technical problems. Honestly, I don't know what's going on. And this shell, we used it over the summer in session B, and there was no problems at all. And all of a sudden all these things are popping up. And one of the most difficult things for me has been, from my viewpoint, see, professors have a view of Canvas, but we also have a student view, which shows us what you see. And for my student view, everything is working. I don't know what's going on. Okay, there was the run-in with the first 3 articles, but that I changed right away. What's going on with the videos, I have no idea. And, you know, if I can't see what the problem is. And it's really difficult to ask IT for help right now because, you know, the university is in full swing. And I prioritize things. And so teachers who are in real trouble with their shells get a lot more support than people who, oh, well, you just can't link to a couple of videos. And so what I did is, for the videos that people had problems with and reported it this week, I created a little part that says links, and it just tells you the web addresses, because all of these are on YouTube. Actually, it's really funny. A couple of people interviewed with TEM, and in their interviews they said, "I watched your videos, Dr. Cho." He said, "You're a crazy man." It's like, okay. Anyway, the other thing I have to apologize about is the failure of the discussion board, the hallway conversations. And what happened there is there's actually I tried to build in a double redundancy, and that's that when you post something on the discussion boards, it's supposed to send me a notice that somebody has posted something new. I never got those messages. And then my second redundancy was for my grader to watch that and tell me, look, if you see anything, let me know. And the thing is, she hasn't been going on consistently enough. And so, good thing I wasn't in charge of preventing nuclear war. But anyway, what I would ask you to do is help me out here. And that's that if you see a problem, just email me about it. And what I'll also do is then take that and announce it to the rest of the class, because evidently the discussion boards just aren't working. Anyway, so where are we in this class? Well, first we went through creativity. And when you look at each of these lectures, there's really only a couple of ideas. Yeah, there's a lot of detail that comes out of it. But ultimately, what creativity is about is taking one idea, taking another idea, and can you link them together? And every innovation on Earth has been done that way. And so the question becomes, are you willing to make the commitment to be able to do that? And I still think people make creativity like way, way more complicated than it needs to be. And the best way to get creativity is just talk to other people. This is why you're part of ASU. Even though you're online, you're meeting other students, you're talking to other students. And so you feed off of their ideas. It's like when I look back, yeah, I paid a lot of money to go to MIT, but the people I met, holy smokes. Michael Joachim from Canada, he's harvested 3 companies already, and he was this close to getting a wireless system to commercialize from Siemens. And what did that company become? BlackBerry. It's a shame Mike didn't get it, because Mike was a very sharp guy. He wouldn't have let the company sink like BlackBerry did. Those guys in Research in Motion. But anyway, I digress. The next part is about problem solving. And problem solving is all about the crux. And this is what Elon Musk talks about. When he talks about first principle, he said, well, problems are a whole bunch of unnecessary details, and you have to just get rid of them all and then take things down to first principle. But where Musk is wrong is that there can be more than one first principle you can work with. All you have to do is change the conditions. For example, you have a chemistry problem. And what do chemists do? They think every chemistry problem can be solved with chemistry. And I take a very different view because I've had a career in chemistry and processes. It's about chemistry, tools, and process. You can use tools to compensate for chemistry. Actually, one summer I was working as a janitor in a Budweiser yeast plant, and I walked by a guy's lab notebook, and it's like, that's wrong. And I'm looking around, so I take a pencil and change it. And then the Spanish-speaking guys were also working there. They said, hey, you know chemistry? And I said, well, some. And then they gave me this compound, and they said, can you synthesize this? And I spent quite a bit of time looking at it. And the thing is, it was either had to be really expensive or it's really unstable. And so I just thought, oh, I can't do this. And then all of a sudden it hit me. I was trying to do it by chemistry. And I thought, oh, what if I did this under pressure? P equals nRT. And I think I got it. And then I found out I wasn't paying attention to what I was actually doing. I was just looking at a chemical compound. As it turns out, these guys were relatives of people in the Colombian cartel, and they wanted to see if I could make synthetic cocaine. Yeah, I love New Jersey. There's all kinds of criminal elements you run into. But anyway, now we're up to the groove. And the thing about the groove is you're dealing with uncertainty. But there are certain things that always come up in uncertainty. And a lot of people do not understand how to deal with it. And so this is where I came up with the groove, because I was once sitting around thinking, what did I do well? And I've been in 6 different industries, but I use the same process every time. And it's those processes that helped me be able to do research faster than there's only one person I know of who could do research faster than I can, and that was my lab partner at MIT. Holy smokes, that man ran at gigahertz, and I was running at megahertz. I was always running behind him. But the good thing is, every once in a while, he'd make a mistake, and I would catch it. So I had some usefulness. But what I'm trying to do is develop within you the approach of, I can solve any problem. And so when problems come up, all these elements of fear and everything they like to talk about are basically not problems for you. And then you can figure out a solution. And if you can figure out a solution, that means you can beat it. You can beat it, all of a sudden fear goes down. All of a sudden, courage isn't such a big issue, and a lot of things just become evident. And not only that, I hate the approach of just go ahead and try it. And the reason why is when you're in a startup, you don't get that many iterations, especially if you're doing physical things. It's like having a gun and having 5 targets. I have 5 bullets. Somebody picks it up and fires. And it's like, oops, I missed, but I wanted to try. Well, what you would probably do is go around the room and try to see who's the best marksman or something like that. And so that's what you're up against in a startup. Actually, it was really funny. Over the summer, I got a phone call from a friend from MIT, but he didn't want to talk to me. He wanted his son to talk to me. And his son went to MIT, and he has a startup right now. And he asked me if I'd be interested in joining him. And I said, why do you want me? I'm an old fart. I'm 10 years out of industry. I've been out of the game. Why would you want me? And he said, because in talking with my dad, there are 2 things you can give me that I can't find anywhere else. Number 1 is your problem solving. Not only do you do it faster than anyone else, but you do it the most efficiently. You always bring things in at cost or under cost. You understand how to execute rapidly and efficiently. And I couldn't argue with him, because that's when I sit down and think about my career, that's the one thing I did better than most people. I could do research faster. There's only one person I know of who is faster than me. And the second thing he said is, I need leadership right now. And that's a big problem in startups, because most of the people in startups have never been managers before. And then the people who are managers have been too ingrained in managers. They're managers and not leaders. And so you're kind of stuck. And I said, well, what is it about my leadership? And he said, you're the kind of leader that a startup needs. And he had heard his dad talk about how the culture of my groups were biker gangs, and I pick out the talent for that. If you wanted to pick a leader to become president of the United States in the TEM department, I vote for Professor Griffin. She just has fantastic connection skills with people, and when you take a class with her, if you haven't already, you'll see that. On the other hand, if you want somebody to go kill bin Laden, I'm the guy that you pick. I'll put the team together. It'll be lean. We're going to figure out what the landscape is, and we'll go after it. I still think I could have caught them faster than they did, but that's just my big fat ego. Anyway, if you have any questions, please let me know. And everyone have a good week.